Hey guys, welcome back to Judo Highlights. Today, I want to have a look at Gviniashvili Beka, one of my favorite judoka. He's just such an explosive guy. I mean, look at this, just how often do you see techniques like this? Incredible stuff from him. So, we're going to have a look at his big Ippons. And I didn't plan for this video to be kind of like a breakdown video, but the way he goes about his judo is pretty damn simple. He's basically got just a handful of techniques that he likes to use. First one here, probably what he's most known for, the uranage, and throwing murao, of course. And Gviniashvili, he has taken out many Japanese judoka in his day. This is the next kind of technique that he likes to use. Basically anything with his right foot on the outside, kosoto, sasai, sometimes an obi torigaishi. And I have to say, his kosoto, probably one of the best on the planet. Really underrated move of his. And then these techniques here, not many people outside of Georgians doing these opposite side hip techniques. So here you see a left-sided throw, but Gviniashvili, naturally a right-handed fighter, and here he is with a big sotomaki komi. So mixes in the hip techniques left and right, and then he's got a couple of sacrifice throws that lead into the newaza, and the one newaza that he loves to go to all the time. He's got so many wins with this move, the yoko shiho gatame. Really good at scooting his hips across, passing people's guards and holding them down. So let's get into it. Starting off with these right-sided hip techniques, mostly a suriyoshi. And I know a lot of people, they'll kind of look at this and say, oh, this is just strength, he's all strength, no technique. Look at the man, he is tiny compared to his opposition. A lot of these fights you think, oh man, these are different weight classes, but they're not. And just because he's got lots of muscles doesn't mean he doesn't have incredible technique as well. This here, a rare ochigari Ippon from him, using the forward and backwards direction of the surigoshi, catching people as they go backwards. Now being Georgian, he isn't too bothered about whether that grip goes on the traditional side or cross grip over the back. This grip here, he can do surigoshi from this position, as you see here, and then sometimes he likes to do an obi torigaishi as well. So we'll have a look at a couple of those now. And outside of the Georgians, there's not many guys scoring with this technique. Farah, he comes to mind, but for the most part, this is a Georgian technique, and they do have a name for it. It is the Kabarelli. So a lot of the Georgians, they can do this technique. Beka uri, he comes to mind, of course, and Beka uri and Maizoradzi, those two kind of overshadowing Gviniashvili at the moment. Gviniashvili still only 28 years of age, but those two guys, I mean, they're definitely in front of him at the moment. But I just wanted to make this video. He's got great judo. Righto, this time, left-sided techniques, hip techniques. The first one, a little bit weird, kind of a mixture of uranage and ogoshi. That was Tajima who he picked up there. But what Gviniashvili likes to do is he takes his kind of traditional grips, puts that right hand over the top, takes a tricep grip, and then at some point he takes that tricep grip off and moves it around to the belt, where he looks for kind of an ogoshi or a suriyoshi. Actually, I think this one against Tajima, you could call this an utsurigoshi, no? Don't see many of these on the international scene. And here's some more. This one probably an ogoshi. I mean, look at that, securing that for Ippon in that dominant fashion. Very difficult to do. Right-sided and left-sided. I would almost go to say that his left-sided hip techniques are probably a little bit better than his right-sided ones. Okay, next up, we'll have a look at the uranage. And he definitely gets more points scored with his hip techniques, left and right-sided. But still, I mean, when you see these big uranages, they just can't help but leave an impression on you. Look at this switching from that surigoshi, changing the grips, and then going for the uranage. So he does uranage left-sided, and if you haven't noticed, that left hand of his is in pretty much the same position that he likes to look for those kind of ogoshis that he does. But check out this next one. We saw this earlier on in the video against Murao. He does this uranage with the right side. So he can do uranage left and right. Just kind of reacting here to Murao's osotogari. Grabs onto him, lifts him, throws him over. So Gviniashvili, it's pretty great. Hip techniques left and right. Uranage left and right as well. Next up, the next big part of his game is this right foot and the ashiwaza that he does with it. Looks for a lot of kosotos. Now people, they're afraid of the hip techniques. They put their weight back, makes them go backwards a little bit, and then he uses that situation to kind of just jump on the leg and follow them backwards. Look at this, you can just see his opponent afraid of the koshiwaza. Kosoto, osoto. Great work there. This one here, I don't know what Blue was doing, just kind of letting Gviniashvili grip him. And here you see that big tricep grip that he has. Great for the surigoshi, but also really great for the kosoto as well. Same situation here against Beka. This time more kind of like a sasai. You can see the pressure. And at this point, Gviniashvili, he can go backwards or forwards. This time, choosing the ashiwaza. And have a look at this one. Thought about the yogoshi, thought about the uranage, and then just threw the foot out there. So you can kind of see how these techniques all kind of streamline together. Here, you might be thinking surigoshi, but that grip he's got makes the ashiwaza great as well. So that right-sided ashiwaza of his, a big, big, big advantage to his game. And just lastly guys, some miscellaneous stuff. Left-sided ashiwaza here, just the only one I could find. And a little bit of newaza as well. I did mention at the start of this video, the yoko shiho gatame that he does. I mean, look at the transition here. Incredible stuff. And I also did mention a couple of kind of sacrifice throws. I'm pretty sure kataguruma isn't categorized as a sacrifice throw, but I sometimes think of it as one. You kind of drop into your legs, right? Drop on your base, go into the ground, so I do think it is a sacrifice throw sometimes. So he's got a bit of a kataguruma. Likes to chain that together to the yoko shiho gatame. And here's the sumigaishi that he likes to do as well. Anyway guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video on Gviniashvili. Really dynamic judoka. But anyway guys, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.